War rages across the mortal realms. New alliances are formed while others lie shattered, and the dominant powers ever seek their next conquest. As these two powerful forces prepare to clash, one fact is becoming clear. The season of war has begun. This battle is brought to you by our channel members and FLGS partners, Warpfire Minis and X-Planet. Baron of Dice is the exclusive dice supplier for Season of War. Take a look through their incredible designs or even get your own custom dice made.
Hello and welcome to Season of War! We're excited to bring you another game of Age of Sigmar. I'm Jordan, joined by Jean-Francois tonight.
Hi.
We have an exciting game ahead of us tonight, but before we dive into things, I want to do a couple quick announcements. Firstly, if you're not a channel member already, consider joining. If you enjoy our content, you can get 4 extra battle reports a month by hitting the join button below the video. You can learn a little bit more there. And we also have a campaign going on to help us get new armies on the table, all the time working on new stuff. So currently trying to fund our Cities of Sigmar army, getting it expanded and fully painted out. So if anyone's able to help in that way, it's greatly appreciated. No pressure though, either way, we appreciate you watching. JF, we got an exciting game, as I said. The mission we're playing today is Geomantic Pulse. So we got 4 objectives on the table. It is not hold 1, 2 more. We store 1 point for holding 1 objective. And then in the second battle round, whoever's going second will choose one of the end objectives to be the pulse. If you hold the pulse, you get 2 points. And if you hold an objective on either side of the pulse, you get 1 point. And then each battle round, the pulse will move slowly from one objective to the next across the battlefield. So there's, it's kind of story is different almost every turn, but lots of points available throughout the game.
You have notably less points on turn 1 with 3 maximum points versus like 7 for turn
2 and 5.
3 and 4. It's like 3, 6, 7, 7, 6.
Yes, that's right. Had it backwards. But then normal battle tactics and grand strategies. And that's it for the mission. Jean-Francois, do you want to take us through your list?
Yes, the infamous, I would say, Tzeentch list. How the list is, so let's start with the general here, which is the Curseling. He has called Demagogue, which allows him to use Destiny Die, or any double on a spell, the first spell each turn is an auto cast. And then going on to the other wizards, heroes, the Changecaster. He's a demon, so he has the artifact. Allows me to reroll, to recycle Destiny Dice on a 5-up. He also knows Blizzard, in case you never know, more Blizzard, and Hoarfrost, because I have a Warlord to get two spell, and then 2 guys on disc, the Magisters on disc, and the Zanger Shaman for mobility, to move fast. And then Be'lakor, I really love this guys. He's like your defensive piece. Also 2-cast wizard with like Enfeeble Foe. He moves like, again, quite fast. And then 2 acolytes, which she battle lines, cast a spell, and Pinks, which is your defensive wall. And finally, I have 6 Enlighten on disc, which moves very quickly, 16 inch, they fly. So it's like a very different threat, like different angle of attack. So that's like the list and how I like to play. It's a very the porcupine strategy. It's really like you don't really go very aggressive, but if you come near me, then like I'm gonna use my spike and
makes sense. Yeah, as you said, we've played a number of games. Played against it recently on a GT. We had a good game and always close, always hard fought. But today I'm playing the Flesh Eater Courts. So I am playing Hollowmourne, which is the sub-faction that gives my knights +1 damage on the charge. I've got a bunch of units of knights, 2 units of horrors for battle line, and then a unit of 6 flayers and a unit of 3 morbide knights. My third battle line is then a unit of 40 duels, so reinforced ones. And then I have a pretty solid loadout of heroes, starting off with Ushoran, Big Papa himself. I got another Abhorrent in the Archregent, who is my general. He's got Shaman of the Chilled Lands for his command trait, and then Spellcasting Savant for my grand strategy. Then I have 3 courtiers, the Marrowstroll Herald, who's got the artifact to make him a priest, which then he has the prayer to be able to give a 5-up ward out. Then I have just a little dual courtier hero and the Royal Decapitator. So 2 little heroes, again, just trying to get a bunch of courtiers so I can bring models back. Obviously with the, want to recycle stuff with the 40 duels. I do also have the Chalice of Ushoran. It doesn't work as well on stuff like the Beast Flayers, but no difference really for units like the ghouls or my, horrors and fires. So that's all. It's just, you might have to kill it a couple times, but it's, Flesh Eaters is a solid army. And you said, Jean-François, you haven't had a ton of experience against it yet, so.
It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be, I am fearful, especially of the flying Morbid Knights and everything, but.
Well, always good to get practice in a, low stress situation like this to understand an army. But I'm also only a couple games into playing with Flesh Eaters, so still getting used to the army. But I've played, Ridge and players like Jake who are experts, so I've been able to learn, a lot from playing them. So hopefully I can kind of do it justice. But JF, I was just double Battle Reg here, so 2 drops, and you are a plethora, so I have control over Destiny for now, we can say. And I'm actually going to take first turn right now, namely because I can do Magical Dominance before you get in range for Unbinds, and I can get that off, try and generate some good Noble Deed points, and kind of rack things up from there.
Well, before we start, I will use the Arcane Army to cast the Tome of Eyes, with the Magister, because he can cast, if the first spell is successful, he can cast a second spell, but if it's a double, it kills him, but you can reroll with the Tome of Eyes. So I think it's a pretty neat thing. So
yeah, and then with that, I guess we'll just jump into Flesh Eater Courts, turn 1. All right, as I said, I'm going to go for Magical Dominance for my battle tactic, and I'll go for Rousing Oration with Ushoran, generate some Noble Deed points. We'll start off with 3, which is a good start with him. And noteworthy that the Delusions that I have, I chose for my army to have the +1 save on objectives that I control, and Ushoran is going to do the +1 to run and charge.
My Eric action will be Eric Leadership with my General, and I get it.
The Marrow Scroll Herald chants for Charnel Conviction, giving the ghouls a 5-up ward save. Then the Archregent casts Mystic Shield on them. The Archregent then casts the Chalice of Ushoran.
And with him, he's my only caster out of range, so I'm going to end the spell casting there, and we'll, I guess from there, go into movement phase. All right, well, JF, that was my turn. Super thrilling. I just kind of moved up a little bit. I threw bodies on objectives because not that shooting or combat is huge in your army unless you throw one of your bigger pieces in, which you probably won't. I at least am getting the the +1 to save if it is relevant. It also makes it a little harder for you to jump on objectives. You have to put a couple more bodies on depending on where the pulse goes. And then noteworthy as well, thinking ahead, which is always important. Flesh Eaters can be tough with battle tactics. I'm already in position for Surround and Destroy. So if I choose that one, knowing Be'lakor isn't a threat, it safeguards me against that. If you give me the turn or I choose to take the turn going into round 2 or something, so.
Yeah, I thought about using Be'lakor on your general. The thing is, it's a 3-up to deny a battle tactic.
A 30% chance that you just waste such a strong ability.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because it's just on a hero face, otherwise it has no
impact.
Impact.
Yeah.
So.
And there could be a critical moment where you hold up a big unit or something, right? So.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense. And I've got some Noble Deeds coming in now, hoping to rack it up. I moved forward again to take objectives, but not go too far. Again, it could have been on both of the middle ones, but at least being on one might impact where, if you have the choice where you put the pulse, because if you want to take it from me on the second turn, if you double or something now, that's another consideration. So just trying to throw things in different places, make you think a little bit. Tzeentch is already a lot to think about when you're playing, so try to overtax it here.
Let's see what I can do.
Yep.
Which is probably not much on this first turn, but we'll see.
Cool. Well, yeah, we'll just jump into Disciples of Tzeentch, turn 1.
The Disciples of Tzeentch choose Call for Change as their battle tactic, which will require them to summon a Lord of Change. The Curseling fails Heroic Leadership, while Ushoran generates 3 more Noble Deed points with a Rousing Oration. The Magister on Disc casts the Umbral Spell Portal, while Be'lakor has the Malevolent Maelstrom Unbound. The Change caster uses the Spell Portal to cast Pink Fire of Tzeentch on the Flayers, giving them -1 to save, and then casts Hoarfrost on the Enlightened on discs, making their spears hit on 2s. Next, the Curseling uses 2 Destiny dice to cast Shield of Fate on the Enlightened, then also casts a Mystic Shield on them. Lastly, the Zangor Shaman casts Glimpse the Future and Be'lakor casts an Arcane Bolt. That was way too many spells.
So that's it for Hero Phase. I accumulated 9 Fate points on top of the 4 I had previously, so it will let me summon a chicken at the end of the movement phase. On to movement.
And after the Enlightened move, I'm going to redeploy my duels.
I will use 9 points to summon the chicken. And then on to shooting.
The Pink Horrors fire at the ghouls, but deal no damage. Then both units of Acolytes shoot, dealing 1 damage to 1 unit of Horrors and 3 damage to the other. Rounding out the shooting, the Lord of Change fires and kills 1 Flayer.
So I will use 2 6s on my Destiny dice to have a 12-inch charge with the Zangor Enlightened. On a 5-up, I get them back. I don't.
And I'm going to unleash hell here with my Flayers. They'll be hitting on 5s, but wounding on 2s because you're only Bravery 6.
1 damage.
Rough.
That was a good war save. And then into combat, I have already piled in. I'm going to use a lot attack.
So you kill the Flayers to the exact wound, and then kill 5 duels. Then I'll get to fight back with the duels.
So this is 1 guy down and 2 more on another one.
At the end of combat, the Chalice revives 5 ghouls. But with the onslaught of magic and barrage of attacks, the Disciples of Tzeentch have dealt the first blow against their delusional foe.
So to recap the turn, was not my normal play style, going straight out with the buffed Zangor Enlightened on disc at the Flayers. I figured out with the -1 save that I had put onto them with the Pink Fire of Tzeentch and everything, that could help me. If you go second on Pulse, it's good because you choose which side gets the Pulse. So in any case, and in retrospect, I think it went well. I don't know what it's gonna do, but
yeah, taking out the Flayers obviously is big because the recursion. But we know I'm at a point where I can automatically bring them back. So that's always like you want to trade and take stuff out, but it's like okay, gotta think. But that said, now when it comes back, you kill it again and it's gone for good.
But in the end, like I traded 1 Zangor Enlightened on disc for the Flayers, and it costs you 60 points. Still, like it's not like.
Yep, for sure. It's making me work, right? It's making me, spend my resources.
And it's tying up the goals. What I like is tying up the goals on one side, whereas like if you get the turn and you decide to take it, you can either retreat, but if you want to like keep being in combat with me, you only have a portion of them in it, and they have like Mystic Shield, 5-up ward, and so forth. So
yeah, no, definitely solid, and I guess that'll just lead us to priority for round 2. That's a 4 for me, a 5 for you.
Thank you, Baron Dice. These are more amazing in person than in on the channel, so these are very nice.
Yeah, won your first prio with them. So
yes, exactly.
What do you want to do?
I will give it out to you.
Yep.
And I will choose the poles to be on the left side.
Okay, so over here on the east for the camera. Awesome. Well, that'll just lead us into Flesh Eater Courts, turn 2. All right, so I already alluded to it, but I'm gonna go for Surround and Destroy for my battle tactic here. Already in position for it, so no risks there. And then my Herald will do a Rousing Oration for his heroic action, and I get 2 Noble Deed points.
I will try to get a CP with my General. I get it. So I will try to unbind the Callus of Ushoran on a 13.
Yep.
I will let it there and use Spell Thief. So you have to unbind it, then recast it.
Yeah, tricky. All right, well, I'll then jump into casting.
Ushoran fails to cast Glimpse of Delusion, then has Mystic Shield unbound, giving the Curseling a chance to cast Glean Magic, and he learns Glimpse of Delusion. The Marrow Scroll Herald fails his chant for Charnel Conviction, then the Archregent has both Deranged Transformation and Merciless Blizzard unbound.
And then we'll jump into movement.
I will use Redeploy with the Acolytes.
And then at the end of the movement phase, I have a couple things to do. Firstly, I am going to spend Ushoran's 6 Noble Deed points to bring back 3 Flayers. And then I am within 10 inches of the Marrow Scroll Herald, so he'll spend 2 Noble Deed points to bring back a Knight. And then my Abhorrent Archregent is also going to jump out of the garrison so he can reposition and charge back into combat. And then I might as well do some shooting with the Flayers.
Yeah, I will allow defense on it. 1 guy's die, and then 1 damage on
the next one, yeah.
Yeah.
And then into charging, we'll go first with the Morbag Knights. And then into the charge phase, my Marrow Scroll Herald is going to offer you a bone, so you can accept it, and everything I have in combat gets to strike first, or you can deny it, and if I roll over your bravery on 2d6, then you can't use commands.
I will go for not accepting the bone.
Okay, so I do roll over your bravery, so you can't use commands. Then I will start off combat with the Morbag Knights.
2 damage, so kills 1.
The Enlightened strike next and deal 2 damage to the Archregent, then 3 to the Decapitator.
And I'll go next with the Archregent, try and get up some Noble Deed points.
Three damage, so 1 dies.
And then lastly, we have the Decapitator.
3 go through, another dead.
And that's it for combat, so you have a choice of what you want to do with Battle Shock.
I will use a 2 on my Destiny die, so I have 4 guys who died. It will keep him alive.
Okay.
After starting the turn on their heels, the Flesh Eater Courts fought back, dealing damage and taking firm control of the objectives.
And that's it for my turn, so notably here, what set up kind of the play I was going for was really the fact that you were tagging my Archregent in the throne, because if I wanted to retreat on my ghouls, but I didn't want to give you the chance to redeploy. And tagging him in the throne allowed me to keep that you were stuck in combat. Obviously, couldn't redeploy.
It's still a 6-point turn, so it's good.
Yep. And I really pushed a lot to this objective. Hopefully, I can deny the signal point this turn, potentially the pulse next turn. That's the hope. You never know what'll happen. And coming in, trying to take out the Zandor. Again, like Morbid Knights, I think were the big shocker to me. Now you're buffed up with a lot of stuff defensively, but 2 damage through with the Morbid Knights is not what I was expecting. Yeah, again, you think they're squishy, right? And you're just gonna punch through, but didn't happen that way, which was a downside because it let you attack pretty effectively, but you split your attacks and weren't able to take down any of my heroes, thankfully, which opened me up actually for doing a little bit of farming with noble deed points. So each of my heroes got a couple, so that definitely benefits me as long as they stay alive, being able to rack them up. I also did bring back the flayers. I could have brought them down in a different position to also charge in, but I couldn't get my Maelstrom Herald far enough to be able to bring the extra guy, so it would have been just 3 guys coming back and then a 9-inch charge. So we'll see what happens, and we can jump into Disciples of Tzeentch, turn 2.
My battle tactic will be Tides of Anarchy, which is take a point that you control with 9 or more models. And then as for Eric action, I will try to get a CP with Be'lakor, let's say.
And then I'll go for a Rousing Oration with the Maelstrom Herald, and he'll generate 2 more Noble Deed points to put him up to 6. And then I'll go for and then I'll try and dispel my Chalice. So it's gone. And then my Maelstrom Herald is going to try and dispel the Spell Portal. So it's gone. And Ushoran is going to try and dispel the Tome of Eyes. Let's get rid of them all. On a 9.
The Lord of Change casts Treason of Tzeentch and deals 3 mortals to the ghouls. Then he casts Infernal Gateway and deals 4 to Ushoran. Next, 1 unit of Acolytes miscasts Gestalt Sorcery, while the other unit succeeds. The Changecaster then has Pink Fire of Tzeentch and Mystic Shield both unbound, while the Magister on disc casts Bolt of Change and turns 1 ghoul into a Chaos Spawn. The Curseling casts Shield of Fate on the pinks, then casts Glimpse of Delusion and causes Ushoran to kill 8 ghouls. Lastly, Be'lakor casts Enfeeble Foe on Ushoran and an Arcane Bolt.
And then up to movement. And then shooting.
Starting off shooting, 1 unit of Acolytes deals 1 damage to the Horrors, while the other Acolytes deal 5 damage to the other Horrors. The Lord of Change then uses All-Out Attack and shoots at Ushoran, who uses All-Out Defense and only suffers 1 damage. The Curseling shoots next but only kills a single ghoul, then the Pink Horrors take down 5 more.
Okay, charges. I will charge with Be'lakor first.
And then the Maelstrom Herald is going to offer your spawn a bone.
So I'll not take the bone.
Okay. And you'd have to use commands because
he's very brave.
Yeah, or very unintelligent.
I will go with Be'lakor first. I will attack him.
And then I might as well try the all-out defense. And I take both of those, so I have 1 guy alive with 1 wound remaining.
The Royal Decapitator is next to fight and uses All-Out Attack, then kills the spawn and maxes out his Noble Deed points. After combat, 4 ghouls are lost due to coherency, and the Acolytes use a 2 from their Destiny dice to avoid battle shock.
Okay, so back of the turn, some stuff went according to plan, some didn't. I'm scoring the pulse and adjacent tactic, so I'm down 2 points from you. Killed a bunch of ghouls for all the good it helps me, but did a couple of wounds on Ushoran.
You took half the unit down, so it's definitely, you're doing work, right?
Yes, the thing is, all your heroes except Ushoran have 6 noble D points, so we'll see. Let's priority roll.
Yep, going to round 3. I get the 5 here, and I gotta take it, JF. Score the points, bring back my stuff, spend all the noble D points before I lose the heroes, and we'll just jump into Fleshier Courts, turn 3. All right, so for my battle tactic, I'm gonna go for Led into the Maelstrom here, and we're just going to go for, I think, Finest Hour with Ushoran.
I will try to get a CP with my general on a 4-up. I get it. And then I will use it right now to rally the Enlightened on disc. I got 1 Tzeentch here. I will use the Dark Master on Ushoran. And I will roll for hero phase. No hero phase for
Okay, so he's not doing anything. And the Abhorrent Archregent gets to automatically bring back a knight within 18 inches. Then he will go into casting. He'll go for Deranged Transformation. And he'll throw some Primal at it. Just 1, so it goes off on a 7.
I will try to unbind it with the Curseling. So unbind. Yep. And I will try cast Glean Magic. And I get it because of the +1 from the bird.
Then the Archregent is just going to try and cast a Mystic Shield, which he gets off. I'll throw a Primal at it so it's auto-cast and you can't unbind it. And he'll put that on the Flayers. Then the Marrow Scroll Herald is going to go for the 5-up Ward Prayer, which will go off, and he'll have to put that on the Morbag Knights. And then we'll head into movement. Can Ushoran move?
Yes, he can.
Nice.
I will use redeploy with the Enlighten on disc.
And then at the end of the movement, I'm going to start spending some noble deed points. So we'll spend 2 to return a Flayer to this unit. And then I'm going to spend all 10 here to bring back 10 more duels. And then we are just going to head into shooting.
The Flayers use all-out attack and shoot at the Enlightened, wiping them out.
And then let's get into some charges. Do you want to let me know if Ushoran's going to be able to charge?
No charges.
All right, so it's on the other heroes. We'll start off with the Morbag Knights, actually.
On the charge, the Morpeg Knights deal 3 mortal wounds to the Lord of Change.
And that's it for my charges, so you're going to get to do a monstrous action.
I will stun the hero. 3.
Wards, I save 1, but he definitely goes down. It's fine, he did the job of getting me the battle tactic.
Yes.
The Morpeg Knights use all-out attack, while the Lord of Change uses all-out defense, then survives with just a single wound. The Lord of Change fights next and deals 2 damage to the Flayers, who then retaliate, but the Lord of Change uses 2 Destiny dice to avoid taking any damage.
That's atrocious. And that's why I put everything in there, so it's hitting on 5s, right? Rough.
The Acolytes miss completely, and the Ghouls only deal 1 damage to the Horrors, who then deal no damage with their retaliation.
All right, and that's gonna be it for the turn. I mean, literally just leaving that chicken on 1 wound remaining is so disappointing. I was thinking I was gonna like take a good chunk out of your output, but him being alive means you're gonna have both of his spells, which is big, in addition to like the blizzards and Bolt of Tzeentch. You're just gonna be able to dump a lot more than I was hoping. Now the idea was to just like kind of threat overload, throw everything into you where what do you deal with, what do you focus on is a bit of a question, and then how do you score points now that the primary's moved to the center. Obviously I didn't have a play really to go for this point. So I gave up 1, but I'm still scoring 6 on the turn. But obviously, late game will also be super important for as the primary moves to these 2. So,
but most notably, you killed the Enlightened on Disc, which were the threat to your general. That is your grand strategy. So it's
keeps him safe for now. Yeah.
And also, I burn the Darkmeister with Be'lakor on Ushoran, just to save a turn. Like normally, you try to get it on your double, like leaving you the possibility of getting the double activation. But I think if I let Ushoran in, he does like so much.
Yeah. Again, good turn of scoring. Gonna be a lot of wounds to push mortals through, but you got the chance to do it. So we'll just head into Disciples of Tzeentch, turn 3.
My battle tactic will be bait and trap, since I have 2 heroes that are conveniently just in combat here. So my heroic action will be Finest Hour on Be'lakor.
And I'll go for a rousing oration with Ushoran. And I'll get 2 noble deed points on him.
The Magister on Disc casts Glimpse the Future. Be'lakor has Enfeeble Foe Unbound, and then both units of Acolytes cast Gestalt Sorcery. The Lord of Change casts Bolt of Tzeentch, but deals just 1 wound to the Marrow Scroll Herald, while the Curseling has Ushoran kill 7 ghouls with Glimpse of Delusion. The Changecaster casts Blizzard and kills 3 Flayers, but suffers 3 mortals himself. Then he casts Hoarfrost on the Horrors, giving them Ren 3. The Zangor Shaman casts Arcane Suggestion on the ghouls, stopping them from receiving any commands.
Okay, on to movement.
And I'll redeploy the Horror after Be'lakor moves for just 1 inch.
And now onto shooting.
At the end of the movement phase, the Disciples of Tzeentch summon a second Lord of Change, dives right into the action, shooting at and killing the Marrow Scroll Herald.
Okay, and on to charging. So let's start charge with the Carrick Acolyte first. So that's in for charge it. I'll stomp the Horror with Be'lakor, yes, for 2.
He takes 1, 2 wounds left.
So I'll go with Be'lakor first.
They're gonna go through, and he'll go down. And I'll just have to fight next with the ghouls.
The ghouls kill 7 horrors, who then fight back and kill 6 ghouls in return.
And then for Battle Shock, you killed 16 this turn of the ghouls. So I can't use commands because of the spell, so I'm losing d6 plus 6 for 10. And that's probably going to be enough for you to take it.
Yeah, so to recap this turn, I decided to bait and trap. I had left 2 small heroes in like 2 inches, knowing that you could not attack them, but lets me open for the tactic. And then charge in there, nothing super impactful. Mostly, I just want to clear your scoring units. I don't think it's a game about, like, this game is about like me killing you really. So I went for units that were more mobile or on the sides. But yeah, could summon another Lord of Change, which is in range of your general. So it goes well. The Hoarfrost Horror, always kind of funny, but
yeah, and it's big. They killed, I guess, only another 6, but that 6 that they killed was enough to force 6 more to flee in Battle Shock. So
yeah, so in the end it was like 12.
Yeah,
that's why like Arcane Suggestion is amazing spell.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, paired here with Hoarfrost as well, like just the combination of things, trying to open up that play, and it worked really well. Took you the pulse, which is big.
Yeah, so I score 6 points this turn.
Yep, and that'll send us into another priority, going into round 4.
For a 4.
That's a 4 as well. I think fates are on my side. We're just going to keep taking it and try to hang on, survive, do everything we can.
I don't think the Lord of Change can survive another round now.
Yeah, hopefully not, hopefully not. But we'll see what we can do, jumping into Flesh-Eater Torts, turn 4. All right, so jumping into my turn, I'm going to go for the battle tactic from Flesh-Eater Torts, the Tome, Lance Formation. So I have to make 2 charges with Knight units of 7 or more. Ushoran's going to keep the Delusion with +1 to charge, so I'm looking for 6s. And then Ushoran's going to try and generate some more Noble Deed points. And he'll just get 1.
So I will do Finest Hour on my general.
Ushoran has Arcane Bolt Unbound, but casts Glimpse of Delusion and makes the Curseling attack the Lord of Change. But he saves every hit and survives. The Archregent then casts Deranged Transformation on Ushoran, giving him 2 extra inches of movement and +1 to wound, but he has Carrion Call Unbound.
Then we'll just head into movement. And then at the end of the movement phase, the Archregent is going to spend his 6 Noble Deed points to bring back half the unit of horrors that I lost, so just 2 horrors, but gives me another chance at the charge for the battle tactic. And going into shooting, I'm gonna shoot with the flares, and they'll use all-out attack, so I'm gonna put 1 into the chicken and try and take him down, and then the other 2 into the acolytes. So the most important one into the chicken, I'll be on 3s, and 3s, 1 at Ren 2 though.
Yeah, he goes down.
Okay. And then we'll have the other guys into the acolytes, and it'll be 3s and 2s here because they're bravery 6 or less. So that'll be 6 at Run 2, 1 damage each. And then we're into charges. Obviously, going to start with the knights so I can just try and guarantee the battle tactic. They'll get a 9, so that's 1 big charge already. And then the Morbeg Knights with an 11, 12, so I'm getting my battle tactic already. And they'll get to do some impact mortals, so into the chicken, a 4 up for 2 mortals, and into your Zangor, it's going to be 6 mortals. And then we will go with Ushoran next. And then I'm going to roar the chicken, which I do.
And then I will stop the Morbeg Knights, yes, for 3.
Okay, let's try and make a ward.
Right, kill 1/1.
You kill 1. And I'll go first with Ushoran, and he's going to use all our attack to bring himself back to his base profile.
Ushoran attacks and swiftly kills the Lord of Change, then the horrors and ghouls only deal a single wound to each other. What a thrilling engagement.
And wrapping things up, obviously, I felt like I was in such a worse position than it looks, I am after the turn. I mean, when you bring summons and chickens and whatnot, but then just getting the knights, bringing 2 back, making big charges, taking out heroes, crippling the acolytes, where I thought I was going to have a tough time, fighting for this one potentially late game. Obviously here, I was able to kind of take a big advantage over there, and now you're going to have a tougher time. Not having played Flesh Eaters a ton myself, it's just eye-opening how much recursion, how dense it is, like how durable the army is just because of all that.
Yeah, because for instance, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I killed a horror there, but then it would have been a bit out of combat and of its usefulness. Now you brought 2 back on the point where the action will be, is and will be next turn. Whereas I have a bunch of units on the left that are too far for
to
anything.
really make an impact, yeah. So,
but we'll see.
Yeah, we can jump into Disciples of Tzeentch, turn 4.
I will do Magical Mayhem on the ghouls. I will try to heal the Changecaster for 1.
Then I'll go for Rousing Oration with my little Crypt Haunter Courtier, or Crypt Ghoul Courtier. And he'll get 1 noble deed point.
The Magister casts Tome of Eyes, while the Change Caster uses 2 primal dice to cast Blizzard, killing the rest of the ghouls and securing their battle tactic. The Change Caster then casts Mystic Shield on the Horrors, and Be'lakor casts both Arcane Bolt and Enfeeble Foe. The Curseling has Shield of Fate unbound, then casts Glimpse of Delusion, but Ushoran misses all of his attacks.
I will go on to movement.
Using another 18 fate points, another Lord of Change is summoned to the battle.
So, bottom of turn for Tzeentch. I was a bit out of position. In the end, the battle tactic that I had in my options of battle tactic were not that great. I don't want to risk magical dominance because I want to cast the biggest amount of spells to get fate point, which I just get 18 to summon a Lord of Change. It did, so I had to blizzard the poor ghouls there.
You could have gone for surround, but again, you wanted to push everything up, not to the edges.
Exactly, because I'm down 2 points, and if everything goes my way, I will still be down 2 points on your turn. Like it's gonna be hard for me to deny you the pulse or. But
with priority, that's really the thing. Storing, if I can store, then I probably am able to claim victory. But if you can get on, store well, and deny me from storing, there's still a good shot.
Exactly. So, but my point is, I position myself in a way that I could go to your general to deny your grand strategy, which is 3 points. It's mostly there. So I pushed like everything through. I used the horrors to auto run because they're the most just bodies on the point.
Yep.
So let's go for a priority roll. I got a 3.
4.
I guess you will take it.
Yeah. So we'll jump into Flesh Eater Courts, turn 5. So for battle tactic, I've saved it this whole game to do Intimidate the Invaders, turn 5. And then for heroic action, I'm gonna do another rousing oration with my little courtier. He gets 1 more, so nothing.
I will heal the Change Caster, yes, for 3, so he's back to full.
The Archregent is gonna get to bring back another knight. Then Ushoran's gonna try and cast the Mystic Shield, which will go off on an 8. He'll just throw the Mystic Shield on himself at this point. And then he'll try and cast Glimpse of Delusion. Fails on a 4. And then we can just head into movement. And then at the end of the movement phase, Ushoran is going to spend his 6 noble deed points to summon in 10 more ghouls. Sorry, 20 more ghouls, even better. And that's just going to be it for my turn. So no shooting. The big thing is bringing the 20 ghouls back on the turn. That's basically going to seal it for Flesh Eaters, which was the prio. We talked about that coming into it.
You have 37 bodies on the point, which I don't have 37 bodies on the table.
And not to mention, here, because of the way Flesh Eater's rules work, I could actually rally the ghouls, have 20 dice, and I get another 5. So, like, that's obviously what shows one of the strengths of being able to, like, recur models back to, like, starting strength. 5 more ghouls just to put extra salt in the wound.
Just outside of blizzard range also.
Yes, and there was a world, at first I was like, okay, do I tag the horrors, keep him from getting more bodies on? But yeah, puts me in spell ranges. Let's just make it as hard as possible.
The only thing I think it left for me is, look, if I'm within 36 of your general.
You are? You have a play at denying the grand strat?
Exactly, so we're gonna go for that. I'm gonna do Intimidate with very quick turns. I will use my general to cast the portal. let's roll for Infernal Gateway through the portal with the Lord of Change.
And I can't beat a 12, so that's going to go off.
And then I will try to kill your general. So that's 7 more wounds.
7 mortal wounds.
So can you make a 6-up war? Just one.
We know he is 7 wounds. So I need 1. Yeah, exactly like you said. 1 6-up ward here. No.
Oh!
Yeah, the big play there, taking down the Archregent. That's going to be a big swing at the end.
I get just hold one adjacent to the pulse, and then intimidate the invaders.
So that is going to put me. I'm 3 points ahead before at the end of the game. Grand strategy is going to make it a tie.
So I think it's a minor victory for me because of grand strategy, right?
Because we both got all of our battle tactics.
Exactly.
And yeah, you take the edge with grand strategy. So that was a last minute play to take the minor win.
Oh my god, that was a lucky Tzeentch final.
Just as planned, right? That's always what you say.
Exactly. Keeping this suspense until the end.
Yeah. Interesting test here for us with this matchup. We knew that it's like the volume of wounds might be an issue, and we saw the strength of it, but even with that said, I did get the last, I think, turn 3, 4, and 5 priorities, which allowed me to like consolidate positioning and store. But there's a world in which I lose a couple more units or a couple heroes before they have a chance to spend all those noble deeds. Could have been a big difference.
I think the best thing in this matchup is not about bringing back models to kill me, it's just moving your troops from one place onto the other, or like threatening me with my heroes, or just more wounds on the table.
Yeah, like really cool game. Obviously down to the wire in the end with that last second heroics from Lord of Change number 3. Yeah.
Yes, and something that is great. I just realized that if we look at the table right now, it's crazy. Like these games finish with so much on the table.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, and it shows that's kind of the state of AOS right now in 3rd edition, where you don't really need to kill stuff. It's not about killing stuff, tabling your opponent. Now that can help you to score better, but scoring is the name of the game. That's the most important thing. We talked about it during the game. That's why Tzeentch is so solid still. They don't have high volume. They don't have, insane damage or any super strong tools, but they have really good utility. They have efficient damage with the magic, and good scoring, battle tactics, and
grand strategy. Yeah. Also, like that helped so much.
Yeah, awesome. Well, JF, again, always a pleasure playing games. I'm not even sad about the minor loss here at the end, just because it was an epic finish. So it made for a great game. Guys, there's no way you didn't enjoy that, but thank you for sticking with us. Appreciate all your support of the channel, and we look forward to seeing you in another battle report.